What is up, everybody? This is Marshall Lee of Donkey Jaw Projects, and today I got something special for you. I finally finished Attack of the Lizard Brain. I've been talking about it for a long time now. This thing has been going on for about 2 years or so. It's been kind of off and on. There's been other projects and stuff, but check it out. The inks are done for the comic cover, and you're gonna see this up close and personal pretty soon. So I'm gonna show you here you can see me ink the full comic cover, and it's all done and been colored and everything, but we'll save that for the end of the video and you can check that out, and you can also read the comic. It's a 6-page comic about this kid named Tyler, whose brother Randall kind of bullies him, and because of that he kind of takes the same kind of actions out on his classmates, but there's consequences for that. Kind of plays along with like an old creature feature type of movie or something, or like old classic horror comics and stuff. Obviously I took some did basically an homage of the old EC Comics Tales from the Crypt. This is actually specifically an homage to Jack Davis cover of Tales from the Crypt. It's issue number 35. So you can check that out. I'll probably show a picture of that at the end so you can see the comparison and everything. But I had a blast making it, and I hope you enjoy seeing a little bit of the process of it as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Donkey Jaw Projects. Alright, so today I wanted to talk about basically giving your projects a fair shot, believing in them, something along that lines. Basically, I've done a lot of different projects, spent a lot of time working on them, and I do these videos kind of talking to you guys about the process and the struggle and everything involved, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I enjoy doing that a lot. And but one thing I kind of feel like I don't give enough attention to sometimes is like the promotional side of things. I mean, I know I'm doing these videos and stuff, but they're more like from one artist to another, kind of talking shop, and just it's more of a community based situation. And it's just it's really awesome. It's been a huge encouragement, and I mean, I am so much better for being involved in the community of artists, all different versions of the community, through podcasts, through YouTube videos, through 100 Days of Making Comics, through making the Life in Space anthology with everybody, all that stuff. It's all huge. It's all such a big deal, and I've learned so much, and it feels nice to have people who I know who are into the same things I'm into. And I grew up before the internet was super big, and it wasn't really even a thing early on. And then when it did become something, it took a while before like it actually became something that everybody was involved in. I mean, it's not till that long. Most people can at least remember before iPhones and stuff, smartphones. But it was a whole different world, and having this kind of being able to connect with people of like mind was a lot harder. And one of my best comic buddies is somebody who I talk to online and stuff from time to time, but for the most part, I mean, he lives near me, and I met him because he was working at a comic book shop. And we had just awesome conversations, and he was an artist and I was an artist, so I would bring my sketchbook in like the next time I I went to the comic shop and I'd chat with him and show him my sketchbook, and he'd show me some of his art, and it was like a really cool, fun thing. And but that was, I mean, internet was going on, but it was like not. I mean, I don't think Facebook was even around when that was happening, and it was in the early days. And so, anyways, being involved in the community has been literally life changing. And it's just like it's hard to find friends in the real world, and when you do, like, I have plenty of other friends who I love and everything, and they're awesome, but it's not easy to find friends in the real world who have like exactly the same interests as you do. And that's kind of what the internet does. Like, it gets you to be able to connect with people who are so much more closely into the things you're into and stuff. So that's something I really dig. But that all being said, that kind of connection is, it's definitely part of like the promotion and stuff. Like, that's, you getting the word out, and you have your buddies and stuff, and you have to have that. That's like very important. That's nothing to say like it's not important or anything. But also, I want to reach out to people who are more comic book readers, and comic creators are comic book readers, but a lot of us have, we need to spend our time, actually producing and not as much on consuming. It just takes a long time to make comics, so it's hard to like read a ton of comics, and it's cool like that my friends who make comics will check out my stuff and everything. That's awesome. But I might make a comic, like, it's like we all connect and stuff on making this stuff, but that doesn't mean we all necessarily have the same tastes in what kind of comics we like to make and stuff. So they may read it and stuff, but they might not even technically be the target, quote unquote, target audience or whatever for the thing you're making. They might not like, a little horror story. They might be more into like some kind of anime type of web comic or something like that. They could be into all kinds of different things. So I want to learn how to take the time to really put the stuff that I work so hard on out there, and I think a lot of us comic artists, we get so wrapped up in the making of the thing, and then we come to find out it's time to promote it, and we just kind of put a link or some links out for like a week or so online, and wonder why nobody's checking our stuff out. And then one thing that's been really helpful for us artists who aren't necessarily business minded is things like Kickstarter and Patreon, where it's kind of, the system is set up for you to promote in a way that actually is the same way you probably should promote anyways, without when you're not even doing a Kickstarter or Patreon. Like, it actually teaches you how to do it kind of right, which is a kind of a really cool thing. But like right now, I'm doing this little 6-page story, and it was fun to make and everything, but it's free online for everybody to read. And, it's not going to have a Kickstarter. I'm not going to run a Kickstarter just to, sell a print of the comic cover. I mean, I am selling the print, but like, you don't run a Kickstarter for that. So, yeah, just so you know, there is a pre-order going on right now. You can check the link in the description. And it's, free shipping and everything. And it's at a reduced price for the print of the comic cover, but the actual comic is free to read. And that's, I really want to see what people think, and hopefully they dig it, and especially people who are into like old creature feature movies, sci-fi movies. I mean, this isn't sci-fi, it's more, horror, I guess, but it's light horror. It's fun, like kids can read this. It's not too super scary or anything. And there's a little lesson in there too. Hopefully it's not too preachy. It's just about bullying, but it's fun. It's a fun little tale or whatever, and I hope you guys dig it. But I guess I just wanted to also talk about though is, if you're a creator, if you're an artist and you're making cool comics and stuff like that, and you're just really passionate about what you're doing, you're making your thing. I think we need to remember like that, like we have to have more kind of faith in what we're making. Like the vision we had originally was awesome, right? And then like you're making the thing and you're like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna pull this off and stuff. And then you finally get to the finish line and you're like, yes, I made it. Now you did all that work, take the time to like promote it well as well. And that's what I need to do, better. And that's what I'm trying to do here, and with other things. And so I want to do that from now on with my new projects as I make them. I want to spend not as much time, but a decent amount of time working on the promotional stuff, like just making cool videos that you guys think are fun and interesting, like this or whatever. And there's other ideas I have too, and just spending some time on the copy for like the email newsletter, things like that. And maybe making like a trailer for, like, I didn't make a trailer for this comic. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I'm thinking about it, but I've been working on this one for a long time, and I think on my next one I'll probably do more of a trailer and some more promotional stuff. This is like me trying my best with this one, but I'm also on to the next comic. So I think during the process of actually making the comic, I'm going to make some of the things that I have in mind to kind of promote the comic and get people ready for it and everything. And there's also the idea of publishing it with like an actual publisher or whatever, like a company like Alterna Comics or Image Comics. Those are the ones that are in my mind these days. Trying to do that, IDW, things like that. So that's another way to go about it. So like take the time to like make a cool pitch of your comic and give that a shot maybe before you just put it out there with a link and say, hey, look at this. But there's nothing wrong with putting it out as a link or putting it out on just Webtoons or something. That's good too. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. It's just I want to give my stories that I work so hard on, I want to give them a chance to actually have a little bit of a lifespan and have people read it. I don't want necessarily, I mean, it's cool, collector's mentality is cool and fun, I'm part of that myself, but I want people to read the comic. I want, I made the story so people could read it. I want people to gain something from it, gain some entertainment, gain maybe even a little lesson or whatever, something that makes them think twice before they act a little rudely, whatever it is, that each comic is about, and I want people to enjoy it, most of all, and so like I want a following of readers. More importantly than anything else, I want a following of people who are reading or watching or listening to the things I'm making. That's kind of the whole point, right? Like we get it all wrapped up in this like fan art stuff, like let's do fan art so people will come to my channel, and then that leads into like maybe doing commissions, and it's like, okay, well, so I'm gonna do like commissions and stuff, and that's how I'm gonna make my money. But when I got into making comics, I didn't get into it because I wanted to make commissions, or that I wanted to make fan art. All that stuff is well and good. That's fun. I have nothing against anybody who does that. I do that stuff myself. I'm working on a Moby Dick commission right now. And I also have, I like to do fan art. I'm actually working on some fan art as well. So, there's nothing wrong with that being part of your plan, but don't lose sight of the actual thing you set out to make originally. It's easy to do that. I've done that, for sure. And there's something that a buddy of mine in a YouTube video said recently that really resonated with me. And he said, that there was, he was thinking about doing fan art and selling prints and stuff, and I'm sure he probably still will and everything, but he was realizing that by focusing so hard on that and not focusing on actually writing and drawing and creating the comics, you're almost like admitting defeat already, like right out of the gate, and it's just like, no, like, there's something to this comic stuff. It's worthwhile. Like, comics are freaking awesome. Like, comics can change the world. They have changed the world. You know, think about, like, Watchmen and The Dark Knight and all these things that kind of went into, like, this grimy, like, realism and stuff with superheroes, and now look at the movies that you see coming from, DC especially, or Marvel as well. They like to get into the gritty, grimy stuff. But even just the fact that Marvel exists, like, theirs are maybe less gritty, grimy, but I mean, the stuff that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created, our world would be very different, if we didn't have those heroes. And heroes, that's one genre of comic, but that's a really important and interesting genre, because it's like, it gives people hope. Like, it's actually really cool in, like, times of like scary times, like war. Like, a big part of when comics became really prevalent was like in World War II and stuff like that, and you had comics of people fighting Nazis and stuff like that, and it was kind of right on the forefront of the news of the times, and what everybody was scared and worried about. And there were times where, like, the Cold War was going on, and other scary things were happening, and it gives people hope. It shows people kind of an example of real heroes, what they can actually do, like stand up to scary things with courage. The real heroes in this world are inspired by those kind of things. I mean, that's not all they're inspired by. They're inspired by the fact that they love their families and their friends, and they want to protect them and things like that, or whatever. I don't want to necessarily just talk about war. I don't love the idea of war at all, just like the next person. I'm not, but I'm just saying, like, that comics have had an impact. That's just one example. There's a lot of indie comics and just different genres that have had an amazing impact, and they're doing that now, and they're going to always do that. I don't think comics is ever going away. The point I'm trying to say is your art is worth it, and the thing you envisioned originally is worth taking the time out to give it a good shot. Get people involved with what you're doing. Make a Facebook page or Instagram or Facebook group, or YouTube. Make a YouTube channel. Get people into it, and I have a lot of things built up. I have all those things, and I'm constantly building more. I have, like, an email list and all that stuff. But you start off small. You start with one thing, and don't feel like pressured to, like, do all of them. You don't have to do all of them. Just pick the ones that resonate with you and build on that. And to me, I think of it as a recipe. It's like my recipe. For me, a big part of it is YouTube, and then I have my newsletter, and Twitter and Instagram are just kind of fun to post on. They're not super important. Facebook, I'm starting a Facebook group actually today that for Donkey Jaw Projects. You can go check it out. There'll be a link. But YouTube is a big part of it. All that stuff. That's just the stuff I'm into. But you don't have to do that same exact thing. So, anyways, yeah, it's worth giving these things you work hard on a chance. You had that amazing vision. Let's see if we can get that vision out there. And give it its due. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys got something from that. Here I just wanted to chat a little bit about, like, the process of me making this cover and the comic. It took a long time. It took longer than it should have. I wasn't focused on this one thing, so it ended up taking 2 years. I hope
to change that habit and focus more and be able to get things out quicker to you guys from now on. But yeah, that's kind of how this happened. But this cover, like, it was super fun. It's an homage to Jack Davis cover of Tales from the Crypt, number 35. And I just had a blast, like, kind of doing my version of it with my characters and stuff like that. And you know, it's just it's super fun. It took a long time to kind of do this part where I'm inking right here with the girl. Like, I had a hard time figuring out how to, like, place her in what position and stuff, and it went through a lot of edits and erasing and all that, and I finally came up with this, which I actually really like. The colors took a long time. My computer's all messed up, so I have, like, even today I was doing, like, stuff like getting my website ready and the pre-orders ready and all that stuff, and I have, like, my cell phone and 2 computers going, trying to make it happen because my internet is so slow and my computers are so slow that I have to, like, especially with working with the internet, for some reason something's wrong with my connection. I don't know, but it's slow. But my phone's the fastest, but it can't do everything computers can do, so it's like, it's frustrating, and I've been having trouble, like, dealing with Photoshop and stuff. So anyways, I got it finally done. It's finally ready. I'm ready to put it to print. I got my little test print and stuff, which you'll see actually at the end of this video. And yeah, I really love how this came out. I'm sure it's not perfect, but this is an example of the best art I can do right now, you know, and I'm only getting better every time I draw something, you know. And this is it, you know. I hope you guys really dig it. I hope you guys pre-order it or order it, you know, and get the print, because it's I don't know, if there's any way you ever wanted to support me, this is, like, a really good way, because and you know, I just want people to enjoy it, really, is the thing, and I just think it's really cool, and I just feel like you guys will dig it too, you know. So here is, like, the kind of pencils, and then we got, like, the inks that aren't scanned in yet, and then here's the scan. We're going through this kind of quick, I know, but then I started doing the colors and the flats. I didn't show every step, but here's, like, the finished sort of colors before I really went in and rendered some things, and then I put all these, like, effects of, like, old comics. Here's, like, a gray tone version. This is the actual homage comic that I took it from, and then here's the final thing. I did, like, a lot of things to kind of make it look old and used, and hopefully you guys dig that. Hopefully you dig this, and thanks for watching. You guys are super awesome. So that's about it, but wait, let's see a little preview of what it's gonna look like on your wall if you go ahead and pre-order this today. You want to see? I got a test print. This one's not even the final image, but it kind of looks cool up here on the wall. We got some cool stuff here going on. We got, of course, the Mike Emmerich Space Cat. Got a little Alterna Comics love. And then the Life in Space comic, which you guys have heard a lot about. And then what is this? Dun dun! You can only see, like, the reflection, but here you go. Hopefully that shows it a little better in a frame. Pretty cool, right? I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. Check out the website donkeyjawprojects.com/Attack of the Lizard Brain. You could read the comic for free and get your pre-order. Oh yeah, check it out. Thanks for watching.